and welcome back. So today our painting is going to be another Halloween painting, and this one is going to be predominantly blue. Our last one was predominantly orange, so we're going to do a blue background today, and we're celebrating the blue moon, which is on Halloween this year. It's the second full moon in the month of October in the year 2020. And when you have two full moons in 1 month, the second one is a blue moon. So for our blue moon, we're going to be doing a nice full moon on a blue background, and we'll have an owl sitting on a branch in a tree. So let's get started. So as I explained in the last video, I keep a spray bottle of water, and what I do is I spray my canvas, and then I take my large flat brush and I just brush the water so that we can dampen the canvas so that it doesn't absorb the paint when you're painting. Otherwise these canvases are very dry and pretty thirsty, so they'll just absorb your paint and make it a little difficult for you you'd have to go over it again and again. So it's best that we dampen our canvas, and once that is done, then we can start with our background. So we're using 3 colors today: black, white, and blue. And we're using the same brushes that we used for the last painting. It was our large flat brush, our small flat brush, and our detail brush. And I will show you what they look like. This is what our large flat brush looks like. This is our small flat brush. You can see how thin it is for doing thinner lines, or you could do thicker lines with that. And this is our small detail brush that we use for the little details in our paintings. So to get started, we're going to use our large flat brush to do the background. And we're going to dip some blue paint in there. And we're going to go into the middle and just go in a circle. And we can put a little white with the blue, just a touch of white. Get that going in a circle. Again with the white. And if you remember our last painting, we did these nice circular strokes. Now, we're going to just go into the straight blue now because we want to start getting a little darker. Make sure you cover the canvas so that you don't have any white showing. The more paint you put on your brush, the darker the color is going to be, but the longer it's going to take to dry. So don't forget that we're going to let this dry. And the backgrounds are pretty quick, very easy to do, lots of fun. Let those strokes be seen. Now we're going to add just a tiny bit of black to our blue. Remember what we discussed in one of our previous paintings, that the darker the color, the more pigmentation it has. So when you're adding black or blue to something, you want to start off with a little bit. Tiny bit of black, mix it with the blue. Again, a little bit of black. You could always add more black, but you can't take it away. Now we don't want it to be totally black, because when we put our tree in there, that's going to be using the black paint. So we have to be able to distinguish where our tree is and where our sky is. So not too much black. If you have too much black on there, go over it with blue. But on this side is where our tree is going to be. So make sure it's not totally black. Just a little dark. Keep it in that swooping motion. So here's a trick if you want to keep your paintings and put them on the wall and you don't want to go through the expense of putting a frame on it, because it could be expensive to put a frame on a painting. But you can paint the sides of your painting and give it a wraparound effect. But for now I'm going to leave mine. So this is what our background is looking like. You can go in, add more blue if it's too dark. You can add a little white wherever you want. Now I don't mind that the middle of this has more blue in it. That's fine, because this is going to get covered up. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. So now this has to dry before we could move on to the next step. But don't forget, this paintbrush we're going to put in the water because we're not going to use this again. But for our next step, you're going to need 3 things. You're going to need a black Sharpie, a bowl that is round. So you want it to be in the middle. Depends on how big you want the moon to be. This is going to be the outline for our moon. So if you want it in the middle, that's fine. If you put it on the side, you're going to have to extend the branches in your tree. So let's do it in the middle. I have a nice, this is a large size, nice size for a big full moon, black Sharpie, and you're going to need a piece of aluminum foil. About yay big. So while your painting is drying, go get those things, and then we'll come back, and when it's dry, we're going to move on. Alrighty, so our painting is mostly dry, but the area that I need to be dry is definitely dry. So we're going to take our bowl and our Sharpie. Okay, I have my black Sharpie and my bowl, and I'm going to place my bowl. Now you can put your canvas on a table if you need to, right in the middle where I want my moon to be. And I'm going to outline the bowl with my Sharpie. Hopefully my Sharpie is working. We'll make it work. Okay. So, can't see my Sharpie didn't work too well on the paint. I think it's a little dry. But we have our outline. We basically know where our moon wants to be. And don't forget, any errors that we make, we can go back and fix. That's not a problem. So now I'll show you how we're going to do the moon. We're going to take that piece of aluminum foil. We're going to crumple it into a ball. Nice and crumply. Nice and wrinkly and crumply. Okay? Now we're going to take our palette of white paint and we're going to dip this into the white paint. There you go. And we're going to go in our circle and fill up as much as we can with white. So this is going to take some time. Use different parts of the foil for different effects. And you can twist the ball around. Try not to go outside those edges. Put a lot of paint on there. And we're going to try and fill in as much as we can with the white. But you do want to have some of that blue showing through. So we're dabbing. Go as close to the edge as you can, but I'll show you how to clean it up if you get outside the lines. Now we need a lot of drying time with this painting because of the drips that we have from the white. But that's okay because on a video you can always pause it and come back. Alright. Get those edges. Twist it around, get a nice textured look like you would have on the moon. Isn't that cool? That's fun. All right, I think I'm getting close to where I want it to be. Go around the edges. So, I like that a lot. White here and there, but you want to leave some of the blue for our blue moon. Okay, so we're going to let the middle of the painting dry, and we're pretty much done with the foil, so you can throw that away. And your fingers are going to look like mine, but this comes off very easily, a little soap and water. And now we're going to go into using our small flat brush, and we can clean up around the painting, around the moon, by just going over that. If you have any marker, you can go over that with the blue. Take our blue. And clean that up. If you get some white on there, just make it work. Bring it into the painting. And we just want to make sure that we keep our circle nice and round and we don't have any of the white pouring out from the moon. But then we're going to go in there later and we're going to outline that in black. So we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we'll just make sure we don't have any splats of white and blend those in if we do. Okay, so now that has to dry. And again, we're going to pause and we're going to let this dry. When the moon is completely dry, you're going to come back, restart the video, and we're going to go onto the tree and outlining of the moon and put our owl in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll see you soon. Let your painting dry. Make sure it's dry. If it's dry, it's not going to be glistening. So see you soon. Alrighty, so here we are. My moon is mostly dry, but I'm going to continue on. So now I'm going to use our detail brush. And we're going to roll our detail brush in the black paint. And you don't want it dripping because we're going to outline the moon. And we're going to do this really carefully and thin. We want a thin outline around the moon. So with our black paint, just going to do a nice outline around the moon. Don't forget, you roll your paint brush into the black paint. Nice thin outline around the moon. Okay, now we have that. Now we're going to use our detail brush again later, so put it in the water. And we're going to go on to our small flat brush. And we're going to make our tree branches using our small flat brush. And we're going to just dip both sides, make sure you can press it against your paper plate or your palette to make sure that it's nice and flat. And we're going to come out from here. I'm going to bring one of our bigger branches out. Make sure you have enough paint on there. And we're using black paint. Now, to thin your branch out, you're going to start twisting it. And we're coming out right over the moon. Make sure you have enough paint on there. Alright. Now you can bring some bigger parts of your branch down. But you want to leave room on here for your owl. And you can branch up. Take this out further and branch out. But leave room right in here because we're going to put our owl there. You can have another tree branch coming up this way. Doing here. And now we can get our detail brush. Don't forget to put your flat brush in the water. And we have our detail brush. And with our detail brush, we're going to be bringing little branches off these branches. And you can see this is really flowing nicely. You know how these branches all have little extensions coming out. That's a lot of fun. This really is a lot of fun when you're putting these branches in. Oops, that was a happy little mistake, which is so easy to fix. Little branches up here. And a few branches here. How are we doing? Are we getting branch happy? Because it's fun. When you're doing paintings like this, sometimes you just want to take a step back, see how it's coming. Okay, I think we have lots of branches on there. So now we're going to put our owl in the middle of the moon. And again, we're going to use our detail brush. And we're going to start right here. I'm going to start with his little ears. And it's almost like Batman. And we're going to make his owl. Okay, do you see the shape of the owl? And what we're going to do is we're going to make 2 circles on the owl for his eyes. Alrighty. Now we're going to fill in all around. The body of the owl, but we're not going to fill in where his eyes are. Okay, and then just on the bottom of the branch, we're going to put a little owl's tail hanging on the bottom of the branch. Okay, now you could do this with your Sharpie, or you could do this with the tip of your brush. Just put a little black dot in the middle of his eye. There's our owl. Now what's missing? Maybe we want to have some birds up here flying in the sky. I don't know if those are birds or bats, but it is Halloween. So we have our owl sitting in the tree. And how about if we put some stars in the sky? Make it a nice starry full moon night. So you're going to clean off your brush, the little brush that we were just using, your detail brush, and you're going to dip it in your white paint. And very, very lightly. The harder you press with a paintbrush, the more paint is going to go on the canvas. So you want to very lightly just dab some white here and there. You don't want to do it on your tree branches because then it will look like snow. But very lightly. Put some stars in the sky. Oh, that was a big star. And there we have our painting. It was fast, it was simple, and I hope you enjoyed doing that. And I'm going to do one thing. I don't think I made the owl's eyes big enough, so I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to go over it. Get rid of those white circles, and now we just have the outline of the owl looking at the moon. So that's his back instead of the front. See, things like that you can easily fix. If you want to put another tree branch down here, you can do that. But that's our blue moon for Halloween. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will subscribe to our channel. We'll be putting plenty of videos, but not just painting. We're going to do cooking and crocheting and lots of crafts. We'll do candle making. So leave comments. Let me know what you want to do, and I'll make sure we get a video up for you. Thanks for joining us. Have a happy Halloween. If you're trick-or-treating, please be safe, be careful, wear a mask, have your parents check out the candy before you eat it, and have a lot of fun. Happy Halloween, everyone.